Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Thank God for another day, no complaining and crying. It's your host with the most coming from the west side, not the west coast. Papa Stretch. Happy 4th of July to all my people out there, especially you fathers, father figures, uncles, older brothers, and mentor, and just good men out there. This is another good episode of Dad Chat TV. I figure I'd come to y'all with good vibes, man. Pardon me, yesterday y'all called me, I had my little, this is going to be the second day you ever catch me slipping. Let me clarify. I'm only wearing Mets hats when I don't wear a different type of hat. When it comes to sports teams, especially baseball, it's going to be Mets. You know, sneaker check, shout out to them Black and Green Farms. Going out and get ready for this little barbecue, man. Unfortunately, I don't got my babies today. Like I told y'all yesterday, I was supposed to get them, but that fell through. So, it's all right. Be around my nephew. My brothers went to get my mama. Fellas, what we talking about today, man? Family, right? That's what the 4th of July is about. Our independence as a country. Proud to be an American. Let's not get that twisted. Shout out to my FBAs. Yeah, man. Another day that was us being a free country. Shout out to our forefathers. Key word in that sentence, fathers. It starts and ends with the dad, man. I'm trying to tell you. If nobody love you, your kids should love you. Yeah, this is another day we here, man. Shout out to all you dads who's gonna be with the babies today. Shout out to you dads who ain't gonna be with the babies today for whatever reason, good or bad, man. We just out here, man. 4th of July. Figuring out this thing called life, man. This episode today is going to be about, at least this early one. I might record a little later from our festivities. We're going to have a nice little shindig later at my boy City crib. Another good dad. Might get a few people on camera over there. Bear with me, y'all. But this little segment right here is going to be specifically about the feelings in which some of the dads as myself go through when these days come up with these festivities and holidays, and which I don't 100% subscribe to, but I do it for the fellowship and camaraderie, not for specifically whatever the date is. Just a good time to be with your people. However, a lot of fathers like myself, due to good or bad reasons, good meaning you might have to work, you might have to travel, take care of your business. Not good, somebody might be sick, but good that you probably had to go somewhere out of town to be with a family member who might need your help. It's more important than the festivities. Bad ways is, unfortunately, some of the fathers that are incarcerated. Shout out to you guys. Nonetheless, you're still fathers and you still deserve some love. Fathers who just don't want to be there, unfortunately. No shout outs to y'all. And what we primarily talk about is the men who are in situations where the women find ways to play games and you don't get to be with your babies on these days. Such as myself. So with that being said, feelings, man. Never one of them things. I was one of them men that fought it for so long, and I don't have feelings in a certain way, but I do have them. In a certain way, meaning just always emotional all the time. Nah. Do I feel some way about everything? Yes, I'm one of them guys. I just don't express it always. However, the feelings of these days where you're about to go, as I'm going to, which a lot of you dads out there are going to, go be with the kids, go be with friends and family members and loved ones, and the women play games to where you can't be with yours. It's not a good feeling. We don't always have the platform or the outlet to express how we feel about these things in these times. So here's where you come to for it. And if I got to be the first man to be able to step up and express it, then so be it. I'm gonna go there and watch my brother, watch all my friends, and they participate with their kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm grateful for the. But a part of me is a little torn inside because I want my kid to be running around too, and it's not an easy thing. Life expects us to, and as we do, and as we should, and as I'm going to go to these things and keep a smile on my face. I'm not gonna bring nobody else's mood down or be a buzzkill because things didn't work out the best for me. And that's the torn side. I think I don't do all the astrological stuff, but I guess if you want to use that in this moment, I'm a Gemini, so I guess it's a little easier for me. They will say to be able to off and on with it, but it is not. I'll have a little drink or two, not too much. Hopefully that ease my spirits. But yeah, these moments that we go through and we bottle them in, we hold them in, we don't express them. Not even to our friends. Some might say, which a part of me, a little small part of me is, it's a little free time, you know what I mean? I get to really enjoy myself and all that. But outside of that, it's like, I would rather have my kids run around and eat the hot dogs or the glizzies, as the kids say nowadays. And, get on my nerve and chase them up and down the little. There's a lot of men on this earth that is going through what I'm going through. And there are many holidays or festivities that come along, and a lot of us don't get to be with our children on those days. And it's not a jealous or envious thing, but it is a little bit of why that person and not me, So that's just what this today is about, you know what I mean? Coming and getting it out there. There's nothing wrong with going through these things because it's clearly God's plan. There's nothing wrong with feeling the way we feel. There's nothing wrong with expressing how we feel. Although we are taught, men, oh yeah, you're sass, you argue this, that, and third, don't all that psychobabble bullcrap. There's something wrong with holding it in. There's something wrong with not expressing it to someone else who might not have 100% courage to be able to get it out. I've grown to a point to be able to say whatever I need to say in front of most people, at least 98%. There's still some things about me I might be embarrassed or ashamed to speak of in front of any and everybody, like a lot of us. But this topic, like always, I'm not. You know what I mean? Not afraid to say I'm a little sad today. Not 100%, a little sad. I'm not afraid to say I feel some way about the games that my children's mother played, and it makes me feel some way. You guys got to be able to say, you know what? I see that guy with the tattoos. He looks kind of rough, depending on who's looking at him. Out of his own mouth and admission, he has told us he previous was a man of the night in the streets, however you want to classify it. I've been incarcerated. I've done all the whatever the things people might just say is the man things. However, you look back, them things are easy. It wasn't easy for some of my friends to speak to me about some of the things that go on with their children. It wasn't always easy for me to speak to them in that way. It was easy to speak about women and going to bust a leg and crime and whooping somebody behind and whatever else comes outside. That's easy. But there's a lot of guys out there that are going to smile in these barbecues today. A lot of guys out there that's going to go on these dates, whatever, and smile, but somewhere inside they feel some way. Not because it might not just been their time and they just had their kids a few days ago or anything of that nature. It's just because the games that sometimes are played with fathers, and nobody never cares to say, how do you feel about it? Everybody points to say, look at that animal, look at that monster when he blows up, as we spoke about it numerous times. But nobody says, yo, where the kids at? Yo, come on, let me holler at you real quick. Tell me what's up, man. I can't 100% tell, but a little bit in your face look like maybe something not right. Usually I know you might have brought the kids. How come the kids didn't come? How does it make you feel, bro? That's the situation, and that's the position in which we need to take as fathers, as men. It's difficult to be able to know that it could be different, and it just isn't, Let me say that again. It's difficult to know that it could and should be different in life in a lot of our situations, but it just isn't, And I'm not a super control freak or nothing like that by no means, especially of no other people's worlds. I had to learn to relinquish a lot of it in my own world because that's why I kept bumping my head and making so many mistakes as I still do. Because God laughs at me every time I think I can override His plan. However, it still is a hard task for me a hard pill, I should say, pause, to be able to swallow, to not be able to maneuver and align things in a way that I'm so used to be able to do it in my way. A lot of us out there, fathers, we got to be able to accept that too with this. I'm man enough to say it's part feelings, and a part of it is because I wanted my way. And even if something is right, even if you are right, even if the other party is wrong, myself first and foremost, and a lot of us out there gotta realize, wrong or right, things become easier or not as hard to deal with, whether it's in your favor or not. Just knowing that things don't always go your way. You understand? Sometimes the pendulum is gonna swing somebody else's way. Sometimes you can do everything right, and that person still gets the lion's share of the situation. Is there any way to fix that? No. Any way to control that? No. But there is a way to accept it. There is a way to be able to grow okay, or at least comfortable with knowing things aren't going to always be my way, and I should be grateful enough just for that position. I'm not the most articulate or the best articulate, so pardon if it isn't coming out the best way. That's why this is for all kinds of people. The great speakers, which I'm a decent speaker, and the ones who are less as good at speaking as I am. You know what I mean? So, talk to me, fellas. Just let me know. You know what I'm saying? You get a chance to go through my archives. Check this out. Tune in. A little food for thought. Feel how you feel. But it's okay, fellas. Alright? Still go out and enjoy with your peoples. Have a good time. Don't overdrink. Today is not the time for no father to be getting arrested or in trouble. And with that being said, if nobody loves you, your kids will love you. God loves you. Dad Chad TV. I'm Papa Stretch, signing out.